So hi, I want to talk about perfectionism today because both as a recovering perfectionist and also I've been helping a couple of people I know work on projects, and I've seen how our internal standards can be supportive and helpful or very destructive and demoralizing. Technically speaking, perfectionism comes from typically having had a parental influence that was incredibly critical, perhaps impossibly high standards for a little child, and you've internalized this critical voice or stance where nothing you do is good enough and you exhaust yourself trying to keep up with it. And one of the ways you can sort of tell if you're suffering from that is if your reaction to something not working out the way you planned or expected feels extreme, feels all or nothing, this is the end of the world, and triggers off any form of anger, a desire to attack yourself or possibly the people who did the work. Those could be warning signs that you're at a family reunion rather than a present day event. A good example would be, say you've done a recipe for the first time and you can see, that part of the sauce worked well. I cooked the meat a little bit too long. Next time I'll try it with these vegetables. That's kind of a normal reaction to learning something and wanting to do it better. If your reaction is to call yourself a piece of shit and, throw things around the kitchen and decide you're never going to do it again, there's something not right with that picture. So just be alert to the strength of your reactions and whether you are gentle with yourself or not. If you're being harsh or critical, if it feels life and death, that's not accurate because, as the sign at NASA famously said, the perfect is the enemy of the good. Everything has to be good enough, but no more. And one other thing that really exacerbates that in the modern world, this tendency to, one of the things I'm always reminding people is don't compare your insides to other people's outsides. How we feel about things is very different from how they really are, and how the people around us present themselves is very different from how they feel. And this is a real problem with things like social media because we are wired to compare ourselves. In the tribal setting, you had to know where you were in the pecking order. So we instinctively compare ourselves to the 20 or 30 people around us to see where we are in terms of status and power and attractiveness, because these are important on a tribal setting. But in a globalized media world, you're not comparing yourself to the people around yourself. You're comparing your financial success to people like Elon Musk. And you're comparing your appearance to supermodels. So of course, you're always going to fail. So don't do those sorts of comparisons. And if you do notice that you're reacting in these perfectionistic ways, get help. There's lots of different people and ways out there to detune those responses, those beliefs, and those reactions. And trust me, life is a lot better when you are satisfied with doing a good enough job and making sure that it is good enough and not striving for an impossible level of perfection. So, be good. Okay? Take care.